Today, many people still believe that Christopher Columbus was the first European to discover the New World. However, in recent years, this falsity is slowly disappearing. Astute students of history know that the first Europeans to arrive in the New World were Vikings, led by Leif Erikson. But this begs the question, how did Vikings interact with the native peoples they came across? Did they try to make peace or make war, like so many other Europeans would centuries later? On today's episode of Bet You Didn't Know History, we're diving into the first encounters between these two peoples. Around 1,000 years ago, a Viking named Thorfinn Karlsefni, along with a party of 70 to 90 people, set sail from Greenland. Karlsefni plans to travel to Markland and Vinland, what is now today Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, respectively. Another Viking named Leif Erikson made landfall here a few years prior, but did not stay. Karlsefni lands in Markland and builds a small settlement of about 8 buildings, including an iron forge. He plans to stay for a while because the land is plentiful compared to Greenland and Iceland. While in Markland, Karlsefni first encounters natives. Some accounts say that the first contact between these two groups was violent. Others claim it was an uneasy truce. What we do know is that Karlsefni forbids his men from trading iron weapons with the natives, which tells us that the Vikings were scared of them attacking. While we do not know what the first encounter was like, we do know that at some point the two groups began fighting. Bodies buried in the settlement in Markland were found with native arrowheads lodged in their sides. There are many stories about how native attacks against the settlement started. One story goes that a native raid started when a cow escaped from the settlement, frightening the natives. Another says that during a trading session, a native tried to grab a Viking warrior's sword and was struck and killed. The Vikings stay in Markland for only a few years, launching some expeditions, possibly as far south as present-day New York. They then retreat to the colder and less arable Greenland. This begs the question, why did the Vikings leave North America? It was a land with an abundance of natural resources. But North America already had people, although this had never stopped the Viking raiders before. We are only left to assume that the natives truly struck fear into the seemingly unstoppable Vikings. Bet you didn't know that.